UN's top court orders Israel to halt military operations in Rafah. The International Court of Justice made its decision on a request by South Africa, increasing global pressure on the Israeli government over its war in Gaza. This week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu joined the ranks of world leaders branded as international pariahs when he became the target of the International Criminal Court, whose prosecutor is seeking an arrest warrant against him and his defense minister, Yoav Gal. 3 more Israeli hostages' bodies found in Gaza. The bodies of 3 more Israeli hostages have been recovered from Gaza, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, have said. They are those of Hanan Yablanka, Michelle Nissenbaum, and Orion Hernandez, it said in a statement. The IDF said the men's bodies were recovered from the northern town of Jabalia overnight in a joint operation with Israel's domestic intelligence agency. It comes 1 week after 3 other hostages' bodies were retrieved from Gaza. China says military drills encircling Taiwan designed to test its ability to seize power. Beijing has denounced Lai as a dangerous separatist and decried his inauguration speech on Monday, during which he called on China to cease its intimidation of Taiwan, which has grown much more pronounced under Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Morgan Spurlock, Oscar-nominated documentarian, dead at 53, Super Size Me saw Spurlock live on a diet of McDonald's food for an entire month to test the health impact on his body. It was a sad day, as we said goodbye to my brother Morgan, Craig Spurlock said. Morgan gave so much through his art, ideas, and generosity. The world has lost a true creative genius and a special man. I am so proud to have worked together with him. Russia's removal of border markers unacceptable. EU. This border incident is part of a broader pattern of provocative behavior and hybrid actions by Russia, including on its maritime and land borders in the Baltic Sea region, he said in a statement. Moscow has taken issue with the placement of the floating markers, used to prevent boats from straying into foreign waters, and disputed the planned locations of about half the 250 buoys, Estonia's border guard service said. Mr. Kingston was accused in February by a company of not fully paying for a huge TV and sound system. He was taken into custody in Fort Irwin, Southern California on fraud and theft charges on a Florida warrant, police in the latter state said. In an earlier social media post, Mr. Kingston said his lawyers were handling everything. The Florida police raid targeted a residence near Fort Lauderdale at which the singer, whose legal name is Kazian Anderson, was named as living in court documents from February. Rights groups demand Biden halt Israel arms transfers after ICJ ruling. Court order for immediate halt to Israel's Rafah offensive is latest opportunity for Biden to take stand. Observers say Biden himself has publicly opposed Israel's offensive in Rafah, where the majority of Gaza's displaced residents had gathered, and his administration suspended 1 shipment of weapons to Israel over its concerns. Countries fail to agree on treaty to prepare world for the next pandemic. Negotiators plan to ask for more time. Among the sticking points are equitable access to vaccines and financing to set up surveillance systems. The deliberations, which were scheduled to be a central item at the week-long meeting of the World Health Assembly beginning Monday in Geneva, aimed to correct the inequities in access to vaccines and treatments between wealthier nations and poorer ones that became glaringly during COVID. Donald Trump's pattern of sowing election doubt intensifies in 2024, a false, familiar claim by the former president that the contest in which he's participating is rigged has reached a fever pitch in this cycle. Election updates. Tom Cotton has emerged as a top contender in Donald Trump's VP race. Putin wants Ukraine's ceasefire on current front lines. Both Russia and Ukraine have also said they fear the other side would use any ceasefire to rearm. 3 of the sources, familiar with discussions in Putin's entourage, said the veteran Russian leader had expressed frustration to a small group of advisors about what he views as Western-backed attempts to stymie negotiations and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's decision to rule out talks. Center to sell 15 PC stake in Reko-Dik project to Saudi Arabia. Pakistan's overall shares in the Reko-Dik project are expected to be reduced from the existing 50 PC to 35 PC. With this development, Pakistan's overall shares in the Reko-Dik project are expected to be reduced from the existing 50 PC to 35 PC. Out of 35 PC, the Balochistan government's share would remain at the existing level of 25 PC, while the federal government's state-owned enterprises, SOEs, stakes would be reduced from 25 PC to 10 PC. UAE to invest $10 billion in Pakistan. Development comes after PM Shahbaz's meeting with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif held a bilateral meeting with Sheikh Mohammed in Abu Dhabi during his day-long visit to the Middle Eastern country. The Prime Minister was accompanied by the Deputy Prime Minister/Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, Minister for Commerce Jam Kamal Khan, Minister for Defense Khawaja Mohammad Asif and Special Assistant to Prime Minister Syed Tariq Fatemi.